you guys how to do a Dynagraph. So first thing you want to do is open up GeoGebra. This is just like how you would see it as soon as you opened it up. And we're going to go over to the settings really quickly and get rid of the grid because we don't need it. The next thing you want to do is, since we only need the x-axis, we're going to get rid of the y-axis. And the way to do that is you're going to right click and go down to settings for graphics, up to y-axis, and uncheck show y-axis. That way you should only be able to see the x-axis, and you can use the arrow button to just make sure that it's centered. You can zoom in and out to make show as many numbers as you want. We're going to stick with 1. Next thing you're going to do is put a point A on the x-axis. We're just going to put it right at 0. And then we're going to do a line at y equals 2. And that's just so we have a second line for this Dynagraph. Next, you can leave the label if you don't want it. You can just right click and uncheck show label, and that way it's just the line. Okay. So for our function, we're going to do something pretty simple. We're going to, for now, just do y of x equals x. And when you click enter, it's going to give the line of that function as far as it would be on the coordinate plane, but we don't really need that. So we'll just uncheck that and have it as a reference point. Let's put this y equals 2 back. And then we are going to put a point B on this line up here. So point B. Now we want point B to reflect the function of point A onto line of y equals 2. And the way to do that is to do B colon of f of x of A, capital A, so point A, comma 2, which is showing that f of x of A, so function f of x onto A, is going to be shown on y equals 2. And that's all going to be represented by point B. So when you click enter, when you move point A, point B should move with it. Right now our function is f of x equals x, so if x is 1, f of x is 1. And then finally we're going to add a vector so we can see how each point varies. So, and we'll get rid of that label real quick. So then you should be able to just move A. Oh, we don't want that. Go back to arrow. Okay. Move A along with B. And then you can see different functions by just changing this f of x function. So let's say f of x equals 2x. And then when we move that point, you'll see when x is 1, f of x is 2. When x is 2, f of x is 4, and so on. And you can just kind of play around with it. You can let your students, do negative 2x. What does that do? How does that change things? Maybe add in like fractions. How would that change stuff? And just kind of play around with it. So yeah, that's a Dynagraph. I hope you guys have fun with that, and I hope that this helped you kind of understand how to build one on GeoGebra.